Hello, welcome to Good Job, where we interview inspiring people from the music industry. We follow their journey from their very worst job to present day and find out what makes them them. Forward! That was our guest singer-songwriter Tatiana roaring us into this episode, and it's hard to imagine another singer that embodies roaring quite as much as Tatiana. Now, if you haven't checked out her band, please do. They are called Ginger, and they combine styles like jazz and reggae and funk with metal.
You know, you cannot be creative and just think with your heart all the time. Sometimes, it's the best happy life is when you find balance between heart and your mind.
In this episode, we chat about how Tatiana learned to scream, her thoughts on being an extrovert on stage and an introvert in life, and of course, her journey from being a student in Ukraine to being a metal artist. How would you describe your music and what you do?
It's just like short words. It's walking on the edge, diversity, and when you try to mix unmixable, you know.
Mix the unmixable. I love that.
Yeah. It's like metal and jazz, for example, or metal and reggae. It's kind of like what? It's a rattling mixture, but rattling substance. But yeah.
And how did that come about for you? Like, was that something that was just natural, or did you think that through? Was that an aim?
No, it's natural because it's like I'm so indecisive, so I just don't know what do I want to sing reggae in this part of our song, for example, or do I want this to be like more jazzy? Fuck it, I'll just do everything, you know. Just like putting everything that you have in your closet that you love and not giving a shit like fuck what people will think about you.
I love that.
Everything at once. Yeah.
So let's go right back to the beginning. Well, we have the same question for everyone in this podcast, and that's what was your worst job? But what I really want to look at is what your life and your career was like before music. What was life for Tatiana before music?
It was pretty tough and boring, I think, at some point, because I started to sing in Ginger when I was a student, and that's when I decided that education for me is not the first thing in my list. It's not the priority for me, although I knew that okay, I need to finish need to graduate at least with good marks or whatever. Yeah, but then I realized that fuck that, and I started to study really shitty. I mean, I think on the third year of my university, yeah, everything just went wrong because I spent so much time in the rehearsal rooms and just like practicing and stuff, writing music and just discovering new music and new bands and working on my singing skills and stuff. So I just didn't care about my education at all. And when we had this graduation, like exams and stuff, one teacher or whatever, she said like, now I understand why you have been studied so shitty, because my son he was at your concert and he said like, you sing beautifully. And I said, what? And she said, good luck with whatever you want to do in your life, so good luck with music. I said, thank you. So she gave me her blessings, and yeah, that was amazing. So that's when I think I was 23, 22.
And did you think that this would be your journey? You were sure that it was going to be?
I was sure. I was not only hoping or wishing upon a star. Right when I was 11, I think, I already knew. Like I imagined myself doing concerts, playing concerts. Basically, I thought that I would be guitar player in a girls band. But there are things that I know they would happen. They will happen. It's a crazy feeling. Like I knew that I would go to Mexico one day. I just knew it, and yeah, I went there. Yeah, that was amazing.
Why did you go to Mexico?
On tour.
Okay.
Just on tour, but when I started to get really twisted on really crazy about Mexican culture and the whole history and everything, I really wanted to go there and get lost in some village. And yeah, I really wanted to go there. So I know again that all we say come true. It just depends on the how strong your desire is, your wish.
Oh, well, that leads me really nicely onto, do you believe more in fate or choice? How much is fate and how much is choice?
I believe in fate, probably. I think that something has been already written on some piece of paper about you, predicted about every step you take. And even if you even if you think that it's your choice, you make, for example, to eat a piece of meat or a cucumber, you try to think, okay, I really want meat, but I'm gonna eat a cucumber. But that's already was predicted somewhere in the universe. But I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I like to think like that.
I like the idea that someone's written down when I eat cucumber, for sure.
Yeah.
Let's go back to when you started singing. Did you start with clean singing or did you start with screaming?
No, clean singing. I was 8 years old, I think, and started singing some pop songs and just songs for kids from cartoons. That would be so scary for my parents if I sang this growls and stuff when I was 8. Fucking Gold Exorcist.
So when did you start doing growls and things like that?
I think it was 15 or 16 when I first heard OTEP, Shamaya, the band OTEP. And then I was shocked, genuinely shocked, because that was the first lady that who screamed and growled. Crazy. And I thought that was a guy. And then my friend who showed me the band, he told me, no, Tati, it's a lady. I said, oh my God, I want to do the same.
This is something that's been super refreshing for me, because you've done that for a lot of women who didn't realize that is even possible, or a lot of people in general don't realize that it's possible, and then they've seen you do it. I guess it's almost like gender defying, because people expect it to be a stereotypical male thing. Was that a choice, or was that just something again that was natural for you to be like, I just want to do that thing?
I think I was looking for profit from that. I was looking for attention or something. That I loved everything that someone thinks is impossible. So, and I thought, oh my God, that's crazy. That was a revelation for me. What, a girl singing? But that time, right now, it's not really something surprising anymore. There are a lot of bands believe me, we are touring all the time, and then the promoters, they invite all female fronted bands who trying to scream and growl and stuff, and the number is growing, of those bands. But that time it was something unusual, and that I wanted to be unusual. Now it's something, I don't know, more maybe feministic or not. It's hard to say, but more and more bands, they start their career by inviting a female who will maybe in future start doing extreme vocals for wrong intentions. They think that only because we have a girl who screams, we're gonna reach the top. But it doesn't guarantee anything. It doesn't depend on your genitals.
Yes. For sure, for sure. Tea or coffee?
Tea,
Music or lyrics?
music,
Cats or dogs?
cats,
Creativity or logic?
creativity.
Plane or train?
Oh, playing.
Beer or wine?
Oh no, wine. Hard to choose.
I
for
know.
me.
Sweet treats or savory snacks?
Sweet treats,
City or countryside?
countryside.
Matching or ox?
Oh, damn, what matching? I love everything symmetrical and to be right.
Guitar or piano?
Guitar,
Friday night in or Friday night out?
always in the whole way, the whole week, like just lockdowns. So I mean, I love staying at home, so
Yeah.
definitely in.
You know what? It's really funny because most people say in, and I would have expected some out people, but no, everyone wants that.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, we're musicians, we stay at home and we practice music.
Yes, exactly.
Modern or vintage?
Vintage.
Black and white or Technicolor?
Black
Moose or mouse?
and mouse.
This is the part of the interview where I give you a fun fact. Now, during the interview, I chat to Tatiana about her vocal technique, but what makes distorted sounds sound, well, so distorted? Well, sound by itself is oscillations in pressure of the air. So it's the air molecules kind of bunching together and releasing. And when that's happening from our vocal cords in a clean way, that's happening in a really even pattern. They oscillate in a really even pattern, but something different is happening when we hear that distorted sound. That is when these patterns become really irregular, they all get really messed up, and that is what our ears perceive as distortion. You seemed unsure about creativity or logic. What's
Yeah, that's because I try to incorporate logic into my creativity sometimes because I try to make right decisions
Mm-hmm.
because I'm very I'm indecisive, so like I love thinking logically, and then just I really love detective stories and stuff, so that's something that I think it's a kind of like power, I don't know, that human possess. You know, you cannot be creative and just think with your heart all the time. Sometimes it's the best happy life is when you find balance between heart and your mind, brain. Yeah.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah. That's
All
what
right.
that's what keeps you away from troubles.
How did you learn to do screaming?
Well, after the band that I heard OTEP, and then I heard Mudvayne, you know, all the like crazy like metalcore, and I just tried to imitate. First of all, I didn't have internet in my house, you know, and that's why I didn't watch any videos, and I just went to to the outskirts of my city and just yelled at cars. Yeah, believe me, that sounded really sounded like crap. Sounded like crap. Yeah. And I was really disappointed, but I knew that you have to train and practice. And someday I just discovered that, you know, I build it up, and yeah. But still I can tell that I'm still learning. Sometimes I forget how to do that. And yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, seriously. It's something that you can, it's not like you learn how to ride on a bicycle, and you will never forget how to do that. It's something that you constantly have to train.
Do you use different types? You don't know. You're just like, whatever.
I just know that I don't use fry, whatever it is. Well, you know, after recently I only got interested into like what types of screaming, for example, people can do. And then I was like, okay, fry. What the fuck is fry? I don't know. What the fuck is guttural or gutter? I have no idea. And then I realized, and I said, nope, it's not it. There's no such technique, I think, or maybe there is, but I haven't yet found information on that. Yeah, some say that I use like false vocal cords. Well, maybe I just don't know what it is.
Well, you're quite dividing in the singing teaching world because everyone's like, no, she uses this and no, she uses that. So I wanted to see what you say. And I think like, it still will be a mystery forevermore.
Yeah. That's why there are a lot of people who ask me to do vocal lessons, but I say, oh, you guys, I wish I could do that. I wish I could share. But I know that I developed my own skill that I cannot share because I have no idea how to explain it.
What defines metal to you?
Being a rebellious music for rebels. Yeah, it's almost like punk rock to me, but more more atmosphere and more. It's a serious music, just serious genre. I think very serious. Just like classic music, it's only for intelligent people.
Mm. And what do you think draws people to metal?
I think it's not about only metal, but it's in music in general. People seek for some secrets, maybe to be revealed. They try to find some help in music.
Well, so then what drew you to metal or to any of the genres that are incorporated in it?
Mm-hmm. People usually start to listen to music to listen to metal when they're teenagers teenagers. Yeah. So this period of your life is just crazy. It's a lot of things going on in your head and your hormones and stuff. A lot of kids, for example, they grow up in families where they're just like only one parent and they're full of anger. Mm-hmm. That's that. So for me, I think I have always been strange and quiet, but with a loud mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't talk to everyone, because the minute I start talking, I see a misunderstanding in their eyes. I'm just like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna communicate like through music. So I started to like write some lyrics or poems. Oh my god, I'm so sad, just like emo shit.
How you perform, you have to be so big and sometimes so aggressive. And as like someone who is more of an introvert, how do you find that? How do you find that kind of extrovert on stage?
They say that there are no complete extrovert and introverts. Mm-hmm. We always we are made of two pieces, and it's usually not balanced. So you have probably 90% of introversion in you and just 10% of extroversion. That's what help you to socialize. We need to socialize, to go to work, to buy, for example, some goods, food or whatever. That's your extrovert part, to say, hello, can you help me please? I need, that's 10% of extrovert in you. And the 90% is just like sitting at home. It's just like being afraid of crowd and stuff. So it's always like a box that I need to, okay, it's time to let you out. Crazy Tati. And then I just put it back into a box until the next day, until the next show.
Do you ever doubt yourself?
Yeah, sure. Always, constantly. And it takes a lot of strength and energy to fight that feeling. It leads to anxiety, that, and it's a shitty feeling. But sometimes I usually listen to my guts and just trust my intuition. Or I remember what I did, so I asked my subconscious questions before going to bed. Actually, I said like, okay, can you help me right now? So I need a certain answer to my question. And then I ask it, and then I go to sleep. And in my dreams, I can find the answer.
That's a super nice way of thinking about it. Have you got any advice for anyone trying to make it in the music industry? What would you say for those people?
Learn how to perform good, first of all, live. And then you work good in the studios, but mainly you have to be good on stage. Forget about like your image and your very expensive equipment. It's not gonna do the job for you. Like instead, yeah, and then don't trust that it's a fucking fairy tale. It's not. When I was 11, I thought that it's so easy. But now when I start to complain, me, they say, why don't you just quit? You know where you were going to, And I said, no, I was 11 when I started to manifest my wish, like my dream. And of course, I didn't know the reality. And also try to not to listen to anyone who told you that that's gonna make money. No, this kind of music, just do it. I don't know. This world needs more uniqueness.
Big thanks to Tatiana and Andy from Metal Blade for setting up this interview. If you'd like to check out Tatiana and her band Ginger, please do. They are really, really wicked. The band is spelt Jinjer, and you can find them on all social media platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and review us on your podcast app of choice. It really, really helps us get out these episodes to more people. If you've got any feedback, please do send us an email at goodjob@bethroars.com. Once again, big thanks to Andy and Tatiana, to Tom Court, my wonderful producer, and to you guys for listening. See you in the next one. Bye. Doobity-doo, doobity-doo, down, scoobity-doo, good job.